In honor of today being Valentine's Day, here's things that exes and guys that I had things with did to me over the past couple of years. And this is in no particular order. I was told that I was not allowed to go out to the bars, to frats, to any kind of party where there would be men. Then when I did anyways, I was yelled at and told that it's not that I don't trust you, it's I don't trust other guys. I got broken up within 2 Snapchats, and when I was crying begging for an explanation, I did not receive one. Then we got back together over the summer, and I decided that I wanted to go off to college and not be with him, so I did the same thing, broke up with him in like 2 Snapchats, and he threw a whole fit when the Uno reverse card was pulled on him and told everyone I cheated on him. When it was our second Valentine's Day together, I offered to help contribute to dinner because this man had no money, and he said no, he wanted to get me flowers, so he ended up getting me flowers and complained the entire time how they were $50 and now he has zero money and I should be very appreciative. I even offered to help pay for dinner because I'd rather do something that we can do together, but he insisted on flowers and complained about how expensive they were the entire time. The whole family got broken up with 3 days later. Told me that he no longer thought it was a good idea for him to sign a lease with me because it would make no sense for him financially since he was only going to be there on the weekends, and then completely screwed me out of multiple apartments because now I had to do everything in my name and the double income was like gone. Then when I did get an apartment, obviously I was paying for everything. He would just essentially live there and not contribute to anything and just mooch off of me. We would be hanging out and he would be scrolling on his phone and this one Instagram model once popped up, so I looked over and I was like, oh, who is that? And he basically showed me her whole page and told me that if I worked out or got boob implants or started actually paying attention to trying to grow my butt and my boobs, that I would also look like her. And then he offered to pay for a boob job so I could look like her. Would yell at me when I would ask him to unfollow Instagram models or other girls that I was not really comfortable with him looking at. The reasoning I got for why my boyfriend was liking a bunch of girls' pictures was, oh, I don't really look at what I like, I just like anything that comes up on my Instagram timeline. For my birthday, and he knew that I had a really bad association with my birthday up to that point because I had some terrible friends in the past that really ruined it for me. I was told that he was going to take me out to dinner about 20 minutes away, which was like a couple exits away from where I lived. Then the day of my birthday came, he decided that he doesn't want to take me out to dinner. He's way too tired and needs to rest and recharge. So when I offered to drive, he said, no, it's too far, handed me a $100 bill and said, go crazy. And this was after I told him I wanted my birthday to be special because it had been ruined for me for years leading up to this birthday. Threw a whole fit about having to move me into my apartment. I would take the city bus all the time and I would ask for a ride sometimes because some of the people on the city bus really scared me and made me uncomfortable. And then one time when I realized I was getting followed home, I asked if he could come meet me at a different bus stop so I can get off the bus faster. He threw a whole fit because he can't relax and stay at home. He has to come and get me. The bus once also broke down and then he threw a whole fit about having to come get me. The ride was like 10-15 minutes down the road, but oh my god, it's so annoying. I have to go get her. The bus broke down and she's stranded. How annoying. When I was upset about a TikTok hate comment about my appearance, he laughed at the fact that I was upset and said, well, maybe you shouldn't do TikTok if you can't handle comments like that. And then he went ahead and agreed with the hate comment. Told me multiple times to my face that he didn't like my Instagram post or how I looked and that I should take it down. When I put a business email in my TikTok bio, he laughed at me and said it was stupid. When one of my TikToks was blowing up, he said that it doesn't deserve to go viral and that the like to view ratio wasn't good enough. And I told him I didn't want him visiting me a particular weekend in college. He threw a whole fit and said he was going to show up anyways. Friends all of high school. Right after high school, when we started getting romantically involved, dropped me and broke my heart. I got into a fight with one of my parents really badly when I was out to dinner with him, and when we sat down and I was crying because the fight was like really, really bad, the waitress came over and asked if I was okay, and then he looked at me and said that I was embarrassing him. Anytime we would go out to dinner, it was always a complaint over how expensive it was. But that complaint was never there when I was the one that was paying. I just remember this one. This one was actually crazy. When I wanted to go out and get a bowl to eat, I wanted to go get some Core Life and he wanted Chipotle. Because he offered to drive, we pulled up to Core Life, I got my bowl, went back into the car, then we went to Chipotle. He parked the car and said, all right, you're gonna come inside and pay for my bowl because I drove. And then when I looked at him and I was like, he was like, well, now you're gonna make me feel bad about it. Would get mad at me anytime I didn't want to. One time I forgot my food at home and I asked him if he could bring it to me at work, and he threw a whole fit about having to carve time out of his day to come and bring me food that was my responsibility to bring. Told me not to worry about this one girl and then got with her right after we broke up. I was not allowed to date in high school, so when he demanded that I ask my dad if he could come over, and I finally did because he was pressuring me into texting him even though I was terrified and did not want to, and when the answer was no, he yelled at me. I asked him to brush his teeth twice a day, and he told me that he doesn't like the taste of toothpaste and I can't force him. Told me I'm too clean and that he should be able to leave his muddy boots wherever he wants, and I shouldn't throw a fit about him putting mud everywhere. Found out I was not the only one when I looked over at his phone and there was tons of Snapchat notifications, girl, 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 all down his phone. would send me an Amazon list of all the Christmas gifts he wants, and if I missed something or wanted to do something out of the Christmas list, I would be complained to and told that I missed something and that I shouldn't have gone outside the list. I should have just stayed to what he wanted. And then every single time we did gifts for each other, he would complain about how expensive mine were. One time we were at a mall and I really wanted to go into Sephora and he refused to let me go into Sephora. So finally, when I begged him, he put a 5-minute timer on his phone. And then when I walked in there, he kept tapping his phone as the time was going down. So finally, I stormed out of the store because I will not be put on a time limit. And I didn't like how he was rushing me. And then proceeded to get mad at me when I was upset that he did that. Started a whole fight knowing that I was at a family function and said, yeah, I know that you're at a family function. I think it's the perfect time to start bringing stuff up. Went from being one of my best friends to only hitting me up on Snapchat when he wanted to see me. Told me that I would be prettier if I had a bigger butt. Planned a whole date for us and then ghosted me. Slid into my DMs and asked for my contact information, talked to me for one whole summer, and then dropped me out of nowhere. Would pretend to not see me or not know who I am when we saw each other out at parties. Would compare me to OF models that he would subscribe and watch, and told me that I should try a little harder to look like them. Said that me working retail is stupid, even though that is what paid my bills for years. I would buy him presents from these retail locations that I worked at, and every single time it was, oh, this won't fit. No, I don't like this. I don't want this. Then I would start answering less and less because I was just distancing myself. I was emotionally done. He would freak out, spam text me, and essentially demand me to talk to him. Would make fun of Polish food that I had prepared or stuff that my parents brought me. Would make fun of me anytime that I would be upset and express that I wanted to see him and that I missed him. He would literally laugh at the fact that I would get upset that he was leaving somewhere. This being my second Valentine's Day single, I would say I am much happier knowing that I can be my own Valentine versus have someone complain about having to spend it with me. This was all about several people, not just one. Now that all these situations are done and over with and I experienced them, I find humor in coping with everything that happened, but I did learn a lot. Happy Valentine's Day. Never settle for anything less than you deserve. Bye.
I almost broke off my engagement, and I don't think a lot of people actually know that, so let's talk about it. Honestly, the whole almost breaking off the engagement kind of goes along with how we met and like our dating situation, so let me give you the backstory. During this time, I had recently come home from serving my mission. I got home mid-March. When I got home, Preston had reached out and said like, hey, if you're ever in Utah, let's hang out, which we did know each other. We went to high school together, but never really hung out or anything. So when I got home and he was like, hey, let's hang out, I was a little bit like, okay, sure, like I haven't seen you in forever. A week and a half after getting home from my mission, I come to Utah to hang out with my friend Matt, and I tell Preston that I was coming to Utah. So we got together, hung out, everything was great, and then a couple days later, we actually started dating, which sounds really, really crazy, but it gets crazier. We hung out on a Wednesday, and then that Monday, we started dating. 10 days later, we went ring shopping. It was literally so fast, but honestly, like it felt right at the time. I will say that neither of us really felt pressure to get married. It was what we both wanted. I feel like growing up LDS, that's like kind of like the culture that you grow up in. Everybody gets married young. So it really wasn't like out of the ordinary or weird for us, but it happened really, really fast. So day 10 of dating, we go ring shopping. He orders the ring, and then he's deciding if he's gonna go out to sell like for his first summer of sales, which means he would have to move to Kentucky for the summer, and I wouldn't see him unless I went to go visit him or he came back home. So when he made the decision to go, we hung out every single day up until he needed to leave, which is about a month later. A couple weeks into the summer sales, I started to just like think maybe it was kind of a crazy big situation to go from dating each other to going long distance and like getting married and engaged so fast. I started to just get in my head about it. I don't know. I feel like anybody would, honestly. I kind of sat for like a day or two thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I don't really think I want to marry this guy. I don't really know him that well. We just haven't been dating that long. Like, is this the person that I am supposed to be with? I don't know. I just started thinking all the things, like getting really, really overwhelmed. I guess I was acting weird to him for a couple days. So he asked me, he was like, hey, what's wrong? And so I told him. And this man booked a flight that day to fly out the next day to come back to me. He was freaking out too. Like, I ordered this ring for this girl. She doesn't want to marry me, and I'm in a completely different state. Like, what the heck? So he literally came the next day. And this is where I feel really, really bad for him, because the second I saw him, I picked him up like from the airport. I was like, oh yeah, of course I want to marry this guy. Like, what the heck? Like, that was so dumb of me to think that. We did end up like talking things through. He stayed with me for about 2 weeks. And by the end of that 2 weeks, the ring had already come. So he proposed. He proposed on a Saturday night, and then he flew back out to Kentucky the next day because he had to finish his job of summer sale. And then we did long distance until he came back home, and then we got married in August. So in a span of all of that happening, it was 4 months. When I think about it, it's honestly insane, but when you know, if I'm being honest. But I put that man through a whirlwind of emotions. I hope that was some good entertainment for you for today, and I hope you guys have the best day ever.
2 guys fought over me. Like a full freaking fist fight. I'm sorry, I'm so happy. This has never happened before. I don't know, I just feel like I'm pretty enough to attract, but not pretty enough to keep. But like okay, let me just tell it. Basically, so this was like a while ago, like 6 months ago. I was talking to this guy, but it was literally for 2 days. I'm not even kidding. And I'll give y'all a more in-depth story on that if y'all want. And so I was talking to him, and then I found out he like was talking to a girl at the same time, but like we were never technically talking. It's just I made it so obvious that I liked him, and he never told me that he was like talking to this other girl, right? And so obviously I was kind of mad, but like I couldn't do anything because we weren't technically talking, but still, it's just like you could have told me. And so I unadded him after like 2 days, right? And then I think he doesn't like me because like why would he? He chose another girl over me, right? And so then a couple months later he adds me on Snap again, or like he tries again, because I don't think I blocked him, I just unadded him. And he like writes a whole apology, but I'm sorry, like after someone does something like that, I can't like them back. Like I don't know, that just makes me lose my trust. And it also makes me insecure that they'll like not fully like me, because like he probably only came to me after that girl cut it off or something, you know? Also, he would like call me hot and stuff, or like call me pretty. See, I'm pretty enough to attract, but not to keep. Anywho, and so he would like call me pretty while he was talking to that girl. Anywho, so he asked me back, right, writes that apology, and I was like, I'm sorry, like I can't like you again. And so I think that's the end of it. But he'll like still try to snap me and stuff. And then my little brother is like not in his grade, but he was like, he's kind of younger than him, but they're still friends. This guy's from church, by the way. And so like one Sunday after church, my brother was like, oh yeah, like this guy Rafe, I guess, I don't know. So this guy Rafe still like likes you a lot. And I was like, no way he still likes me. Like he probably just still thinks I'm pretty and doesn't have anyone else, right? And so then my brother keeps saying it like a couple weeks in a row, like, bro, he likes you, like he actually genuinely likes you. And so I was like that's kind of funny. And then he also said that he was like, this other guy also thinks you're hot though, but like he can't say anything in front of Rafe because like Rafe will get pissed. And I was like, what, pissed? And so what was I gonna say? So yeah, now I know that like both these guys think I'm hot, right? But then this Sunday, so that was yesterday, he literally, my brother tells me, so basically we were sitting all the way up in church, and then my brother looks back, he was like, oh, can I go sit next to Rafe, because like I haven't seen him forever? And I was like, okay, I'll just come too. And so then like we're sitting next to Rafe, and this whole time we're literally talking about him. It was so funny because he was just sitting right there. And like also I do listen to the sermons, but it was like about a bunch of trans like people and like gay people and stuff, and like I don't struggle with that or whatever, so I guess that doesn't pertain to me, I don't know. So yeah, we start talking about how like Rafe and his friend Jack, I guess, I don't know. So Rafe and Jack like both think I'm hot, right? And then my brother just throws out there like in the middle of nowhere, oh yeah, he punched him over you. Why did you not tell me? Like why did no one tell me this before? Like I need to know this. Like that is insane. That's never happened to me. I was like, what? And so basically apparently they were at like this church camp that I didn't go to because I was at a basketball camp. So they were at this church camp, and then my brother walks in, and they like were kind of like fighting a little bit like with their words, and my brother's like, what are y'all talking about? And they were like, oh, your sister. And then he was like, oh. And then okay, so they were just talking about me, and then Ryan like said Jack said I was hot, and then Rafe like punched him and attacked him apparently because he got mad because like Ryan knew that Jake liked me. Jake, what the heck? Ryan knew. No, what? Okay, Jack knew that Rafe liked me. By the way, Ryan is not his actual name. I don't know where that's coming from. It's because I was like, I don't know. So apparently they just started like wrestling and fighting over me. And like also to preface, they do like kind of play fight every day. But my brother said like this was like real. Like they were actually kind of going at it. But like they're fine now. It wasn't like it like ruined their friendship. But it was kind of like a normal play fight that they do, but like more genuine apparently. I don't know. That just like kind of makes me happy that someone can actually keep liking me. Like I don't know. Because I feel like the guys that actually want just lose feelings like right after, I don't know. Anywho, that was my story time for y'all.
Y'all want to hear another story about a time I chose psychological warfare instead of violence? Let's go back some years. I was dating this guy, and this is about the time I found out he was cheating on me. So we're in bed. He's asleep, I'm awake. I've never been the type of girl that goes through my man phone. Ever. His phone went off. Like, he had a text message, and it started buzzing because he had it on silent. Let me tell you, the phone came to me. It started buzzing, and it was like, bzzz, bzzz. Phone damn near jumped on my lap. The universe wanted me to know what was going on. So I pick up the phone to put it back over by him, and he had it to where, like, the banner pops up. You know, you don't have to open the text message. And it says, are you on this side of the town yet? Because I need some. Excuse me? When I tell you, phone to the dome, he woke up like, hey, what's going on? You sleeping with this girl? Now, this is not the first time I've seen this girl's name. There was another time, months and months before, he mentioned her for some reason I can't remember. Anyways, and it was just something about her name at that time. Like, I've heard different names, male, female, like it did not matter. But in that instant, it was like, it just sent something to my spidey senses. And I put that name on the shelf. Some didn't feel right. It's from this girl. So he's like, what? I was like, you sleeping with this girl? Like, what she mean? He was like, not that. I know that's not what she mean. So I'm like, okay, call her. He's like, right now? Yes, right now. She texts you right now. Call her. And he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? Because women, a lot of women be crazy. A lot of women be on bullshit all the time. And who knows what she's going to say. She should say what she called for. He's like, yeah, but you don't know that. You don't know that. Like, women like to play games and say little things to, call her and put it on speakerphone. And don't say nothing weird. I don't want to hear no subliminals, nothing. Just call her. He like, okay, but I'm warning you. You probably don't want to do this. I've never wanted to do anything more in my life. So he give her a call on speakerphone and she answered and she's like, hey, he like, yeah, what's up? She like, nothing. I'm here with my cousin. We was wondering if you was around because we want some spinach. And he was like, nah, I ain't even around right now. I'm on the other side of town. She was like, oh, all right, bye. And he's like, all right, cool. You good? She like, yeah. He like, all right, peace out. They get off the phone. He like, see, you always tripping. I'm like, I don't think I am. You sleeping with this girl? He's like, no, I've never slept with her. It's the way he said, I've never slept with her, let me know that he's playing the game of semantics. I said, okay, so have you done anything with her that you would not want me to know about? Anything with her that if I found out, I would flip my shit? Have you touched her or she touched you in any schmexual way? And his little cheeks got a little rosy. And he was like, well, she did give me some once or twice. I'm like, and you think that's cool? Like, where? He's like, in a car? In my car? He like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Get dressed. He's like, why? Get dressed and then call her and tell her we're coming over. He's like, what? No, see, See, you also, no, I'm not on anything. Because she know we're together, right? She know about me. He's like, yeah. And you guys chose to do this behind my back. Do it in my face. He's like, you're insane. You're insane. No, nobody's going to do that. Okay, well, then we're not going to be together. He's like, what? If I did that in your face, you going to break up with me anyways. You don't know that. But what you do know is that if you don't, I am definitely going to break up with you. Because I feel like if you're bold enough to do this behind my back and you're bold enough to do this in my car, be bold enough to do it in my face. And then we'll deal with what happens after that. He was visibly shook. He was like shaking. So he had to call her back, tell her that I knew what happened and that we were coming over there. So we pull up to in front of her house. I'm sitting in the passenger seat of the car. He gets out. He's chain smoking. Like he on death row. Nervous as ever. She come on my side to say hello. Jump scare. When I tell you, she literally, I was thinking in my mind that this girl was going to be so beautiful. Like, that's why he was willing to risk it all. Like, she was just so beautiful that his flesh could not resist the temptation. You cheated on me with Quasimodo? You cheated on me with the Hunchback of Notre Dame? First off, nothing against tall girlies, but she was 6'6". This little bitty ass car. Girl, how you even fit in there? But anyways, so I'm like, how you doing? My name is... She's like, yeah, I know. He talks about you all the time. And she's like, and I've been wanting to meet you for the longest because actually I like girls and I don't care what you like. What I like is vengeance. So here's how this is going to go down. Now, she was all for it. He was about to throw up. He was just like, no, like, I don't, like, you're never going to look at me the same. And the whole time, that was the plan. Because sometimes I'm going to need to hate you right off rip. And I already knew that I wanted to be done. And this was going to solidify it for me. So anyways, we went to our old house because we were in transition of moving. And me and her in a room, I'm like on my phone playing Candy Crush. She's sitting there waiting. And he's in the other room drinking, like getting drunk, trying to like get his mind. It took him 2 hours to come in here. It took him 2 hours to come in here. And when he came in there, he looked like he was about to cry. Okay, sir, it's over. Bye.
Am I wrong for blocking my best friend of 5 years without no explanation? So she would always be in like competition with me, like for everything. When I say everything, I mean with school, with boys, financially, for social media, like with everything that you could practically think of. Everything I done in my everyday life, she would be in competition. It gotten so bad that even boys that I used to talk to or I would be in a relationship with, she would be in competition with me for practically everything. Even with boys. And every time I talk to her about like my little accomplishments or when I overcome my fears about something, she would just always bring me down for some type of reason. Every time. And she just starts talking about herself all the freaking time. Like, it's not always about you. And she just wouldn't ever just listen to me about like how I'm doing or my life. But then I just thought, you know what, we can all grow out of it, and character development is a thing. But no, 2-3 years go in, same thing happens, but obviously like I don't go out, I couldn't go out as much as I did before, as like times change, people have their own life. But when I did see her, all she would ever talk about is just boys. Like, anytime we go out, or like I even would try to change the subject, she would be on the phone to them when we are out, like going out to eat, going shopping, always on the phone or always talking about boys. It has to be one of them. Even with the thing with like always bringing me down, that she kept doing that 2-3 years in our friendship. And I don't know, like I just started like, it actually started to affect me a lot, because friends are they're a big impact for your life as you always socialize with them. It was just getting to me for some reason, and it just started making me have low esteem, and like I don't know, it changed me as a person. A couple weeks go by and I catch up to her, and coincidentally we were actually going through something quite similar. Like, it was actually quite deep as well. I can't even say it online till this day. But it was quite a big surprise, but things happen for a reason. So it was like, we're gonna go through it together. So when we would obviously every other day, or even when I first found out that she was going through something like me, I'd message her, I would call her, I would even get her things like a basket to get well soon, things like
I even said, like, let's go out, like, it's on me, like, we can go out, we can go eat, and, like, try to distract herself from the situation. And for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, I would always just check up on her, always try to cheer her up, always sending her some long paragraph, literally, before I go to sleep, just to make sure she's good. But she just never done the energy back. She never, like, done it back for me. Like, bear in mind, I was going through something so similar, and she didn't do none of the things I did for her. And then after all of that, I found out, literally, let's say 2 days, like, prior, after what she just done, I find out from one of my people that I know that I done a thing with this boy, and we were together for 2-3 years, and we broke up because he cheated on me. Why do I find out when we wasn't talking? Right after me and my ex broke up, she was talking to him. She was literally talking to him. But then I was like, you know what? It's in the past. It's fine. It's just fine. But I was thinking, you know what? Maybe she can't see it. Maybe she's blinded. Like, you know, maybe she just can't see, like, how I feel about the situation. And maybe if I explain to her how I feel, maybe she'll start changing about it. So I went out to her. I'm like, this is actually really affecting me. I feel like you're not giving the energy back. We're going through the same similar thing. Like, I just feel like you're not there for me like I'm there for you. This bitch turns around. And says this. Tough. That's all the girl said. Tough. Because then I went home with, like, I literally just was silent, went home, aired her for days, ignored her for so many days. And then I just realised, like, she didn't even message me, apologise. I was like, what the hell am I doing? I'm not going to waste this many more years on this, like, friendship. Like, what the hell? And I just blocked her. What do you guys think?